welcome to episode 28 of What Cause Inspires You. I'm your host, Alina, and today I have with me Jacob Warman. Alicia Gupta, my friend and fellow Humanity Rising ambassador, launched the What Cause Inspire You series as a way for students to share the service they're doing in their communities. We encourage youth who are making change to improve the world to speak up about their stories and become a leader in the movement. Jacob is a filmmaker who has used art therapy through illustration, animation, and filmmaking in order to process trauma. After this cathartic realization, he has set out to spread awareness on how art therapy can help youth process and ultimately confront trauma through a fun and non-invasive manner. He has given a speech at Viacom headquarters about this very topic and how it can help other youth who are struggling with trauma. Jacob is currently in the brainstorming process of forming an after-school program that provides art therapy for K through 12. And we are recording this presentation. It will be posted shortly on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Music. Be sure to check out www.humanityrising.org and sign up for our email newsletter to keep updated with all the podcast links. Jacob, it's so nice to have you here with us today. And I know all the listeners out there, as well as I'm so excited to learn more about what you're doing. So are we ready to get started?
Yes, thank you for the introduction.
Yeah, no problem. So first of all, I want to say what an interesting idea and movement you have going on. Personally, I usually think of writing or relaxing to relieve stress, but it's just interesting how you've thought of art therapy. So I would personally love to know how you encountered art therapy as a method to process trauma in the first place.
Well, I'd say I don't know, when we're kids, it's a lot more natural, you know? We kind of just use crayons. We love art class. It's just a really natural thing that we grow up doing. And as we kind of get older, all of a sudden, sketching and stuff like that becomes more of a chore. Um, and I think we kind of just need to get back like to the doodles. If you want to learn to do more, you can. But just for me personally, I've always been doing it. But when I realized that it was far more powerful than I'd expected is when I was doing it on my documentary for animation.
Yeah, that's amazing. You just mentioned you've always been working with art. So, is there like a specific instance where it was a moment where you realized the importance of art therapy?
Yeah, I'd say when I was doing my documentary, I did experience like a lot of trauma from dangerous travels that I've done as a kid, and so I made a documentary about all of this. And throughout it, I was learning how to do animation for the first time to like depict these things, and I kind of have like this. It's called a Wacom. It's this little drawing tablet, and I was just like really scratching away. Um, and I kind of realized like, wow, I feel so much better. Like there was just this emotional release that I got just from drawing. And usually like you feel better after, but you don't really think about it. But it was just so powerful. I was like, wow, maybe I should do this some more.
I definitely agree with that. I know many people use art for like many different things. Specifically, I love painting and like
Mm.
illustrating as like a hobby, but I've always find myself distracted or so zoned into one thing that all my other problems are kind of not irrelevant not relevant anymore. So when you make art, is there a distinction between when you're creating for fun or when you're creating for a more therapeutic process?
Absolutely. I'd say it's always the goal just to do it for fun. Um, but through it, hopefully, if it really is just for fun, it will become therapeutic, like as an indirect outcome of doing so. And like what you were explaining about kind of, time going away, I'm not like the most productive person at all times. I need to really focus on it. And for me, when I find myself doing art and I get really into it, it's called flow state, where kind of things just go out the window and you're really immersed in it. I think that's the beauty of just having fun when you're doing art.
Yeah, wait, so you said it's called flow state? There's like a word.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
So flow state it's not just art. It's really any activity that you do where you just naturally flow and like how you're describing about losing the concept of time. So some writers, some say dancers, but really anything.
That's amazing. Yeah, there's so many different areas you can attend to for like that flow state of mind, I guess. But why have you decided to focus specifically on art therapy? That being said.
Well, for me, it just comes really natural because personally, that's like what I've enjoyed, and how I've realized self therapy. But the other reason why is because although, like, say, most people think that art is like digital art, drawing, painting, it really can be anything from acting to dancing to singing. So I like how broad it is, so it can really
Yeah.
branch out.
So what would you say, kind of a sidetrack, what would you say your favorite art therapy sort of like artist or like project is, I guess? And yeah, medium or something you've done in the past that really helped you out a lot through this?
Mm. In terms of medium, I definitely say digital because something about like the Command Z is really addictive, where I kind of just get like really lost into it, into like finding perfection, not like in a toxic way, but for myself. Because, kind of like as a kid when you'd erase a drawing, but it would like smudge.
Oh,
So I like how digitally it doesn't leave a smudge.
okay, got it. Yeah. That's very interesting because when I think of art, I definitely don't think of digital. I like mostly think of like colors, paintings, drawings, or even like acting expression through your face, stuff like that. But it's very interesting to see that it can be expressed digitally as well, um, through like animation, right? So I've never tried that. I think I should definitely look into that and see how stress relieving that is. But personally, I think computers can be annoying. But, anyways, um, how do you encourage kids who don't think of themselves as artists to participate in your program?
It doesn't really matter if you're good at art or not, but it's really just about having fun. Like if you draw a stick figure, but it's on some awesome journey, like sailing a ship to God knows where in your own world, it doesn't matter how it looks. It's really like your experience, and you always can get better.
Yeah, for sure. Have you had any encounters with, or just a process that you're brainstorming for kids or other people as well on providing art therapy or making it more accessible to them?
Yeah, I do this like a lot with my little sister, but also one of my favorite birthdays as a kid is my dad got this massive canvas, and we got like toy trucks, and we dipped them in paint and just started like steering it all over this canvas. We like dipped our hands in it. I mean, at the end, it didn't look that nice, but that's not really what matters. So I'd say like maybe just get a canvas and like get some kids over. Like, we love getting our hands dirty and stuff, just dipping, interacting with the paint. I'm not a good painter myself, so we could both,
Yeah,
discover how to do.
for sure. I've seen a lot of those videos on TikTok actually. Have you seen those?
No, what?
There's like a paint bucket spinning on a rope, and then they just have an empty canvas, and they're just like kind of moving the paint bucket with like a hole in it, and it's just like making a beautiful little piece. But it's not as hands on as what you were talking about. But I think that's something like definitely, I feel like I see that a lot in movies and stuff because like I feel like very few people have the space or like, you know, to like get that messy. But I think it'd be a really good idea. That's a very good form of like stress relief, getting messy, having fun, definitely. So thank you, Jacob, for joining us today. You can contact and connect with Jacob through email. His email is jakewarman@gmail.com, and you can contact him on Instagram at jacob.warman. We will also be attaching these contacts in our YouTube description of the podcast in case anyone has further inquiries or wants to get involved. Thank you so much again for sharing, Jacob. It was really great to have you here with us. I think it's really important to have ways to process trauma, and it's inspiring to see the action you're taking to show your community different ways to do just that. If you have any general questions about the What Cause Inspires You podcast series, if you're interested in applying as a student or expert speaker, or even if you want to volunteer, email aliciagupta2020@gmail.com or info@humanityrising.org. Be sure to follow our Instagram and Facebook pages to stay updated on our scholarship opportunities, future podcasts, and events at Humanity Rising and What Cause Inspires You. Thank you all for attending, and we hope to see you again for next week's podcast.
Bye. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, no problem. Bye.